The crucifixion of Jesus Christ made appeared to be false by Allah, that Allah, the omniscience, knowingly deceived many people to become Christians, then to condemn to hell for the future sins of Muslims. Okay, I'm not sure about this part, so we'll go bit by bit for this comment. So first, about this, he is saying that the crucifixion of Jesus Christ to be made appear, because in the Quran Allah Subhanahu wa Taala did say that it is made up to appear to them, to those people, that Jesus Christ was indeed crucified and killed. And Allah said that is actually Jesus Christ is not actually killed and crucified in that event, but it appeared to the people as such, as if, right? So he's saying that the crucifixion, and I think then the killing, including and death of Jesus Christ, because Allah made it appear as such, then Allah knowingly deceived people to become Christians. Now, this is not the first time some Christians says this in the comment section on my video, and I do wonder, if you are Christian, do you think this is valid as well, or do you able to see the problem is this logic? Just read it, and my question is, do you agree with this statement, this sentiment, that if Allah make it appear that Jesus was crucified and killed, and Allah then is responsible to make people Christians or deceive people into Christianity, do you think that this is a valid point, or do you see the problem is this statement? Because Christianity is not based upon Jesus crucified and died, right? If Allah says it made to appear that Jesus claimed to come down to die for human sin, for example, then you can make that argument, right? Because then you can see that Allah is the one that make it appear that Jesus say that I come to die for your sin, because that is part of the creed or the central belief of Christianity, right? Or if Allah say in the Quran that Allah make it appear as if Jesus revived from the dead, resurrected from the dead, then you can still make an argument, right? Because the Christian belief is not because Jesus died, it is because Jesus resurrected, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I understand it. So Allah did not mention any of this. Allah did not mention that Allah make it appear as if Jesus claimed to be divine, or claimed to come down to die for your sin, or to have resurrected. Allah just said that it made to appear to them that Jesus was crucified and killed. And this is not the central belief of Christianity, right? It's not that Jesus died, he is God suddenly. What logic is that? Right? So I hope you can see the fatal problem with this statement. I think this statement comes from Christians just want to find something that they can argue with, right? They do not really think about it. So I'm assuming that. And then this statement, I'm not sure what this is about. Then to be condemned to hell for future sins of Muslim. So he seems to think that Christian go to hell because of the sin of the Muslim. What? This is the first time I hear something like this. Did I understand this sentence correctly? And where does this come from? Is there anyone that claim that there's such a teaching that, Christian as if Muslims saying we do sin, but the Christian pay out for our sin? Is there such a thing? It's Christian that says that Jesus pay for our sin, right? Muslim never see anyone else pay for our sin. So I'm not sure where this come from. So all Muslims can continue sinning because Allah being merciful will pay the sin of... Okay, so this is reinforcing. So I'm not misunderstanding that. He actually means this. All Muslims can continue to sin because Allah being merciful, place the sin of all Muslim onto the Christian. So where does this come from? This, honestly, this is, even though I have heard of this before, the first part here, I have heard of this part before many times, but this is the first ever time that I've heard that someone claimed that as if Muslim believe their sin is being paid by Christians. I'm not sure what this is based upon. How merciful indeed. Allah is indeed a great planner, deceiver, that on the day of crucifixion and noon. Okay, so on this one, there are other comments on this, so I'll make a specific video on the issue of Allah khairul makirin, right? Wa makaru wa makarallah. So we'll do that in the specific video so that we focus on that. Not to make this video to be too cluttered. And then whatever here is not based on the Quran about the cloud or blah blah blah, right? I think that's the story in the Bible, so you cannot pin that on Allah, right? The first part here is basically because there's a part in the Quran where Allah says it appeared to them that Jesus was crucified and killed, although his logic is problematic because you cannot take that and then suddenly point towards Christianity. There's no logical point there, but the starting point, because Allah says something there. But here, this has nothing, and he has also mentioned there, even the mother of Jesus, Mary, was deceived. So all of this is the story in the Bible where we don't believe is a true account anyway, right? We don't see the validity, the reliability, etc. So no, why do you think bring that to us? So that's not even reliable. So you cannot pin that on Allah, right? So sorry to say. Anyway, so feel free to comment if you actually see this flaw, especially if you are a Christian and you see the flaw of other Christians saying this. I'm interested to know whether there are some Christians that can still use their brain, or they also fall into this. Someone says this and then, oh yeah, let's jump into this, right? I'm not. I have good faith that many Christians can see the flaw into this without me saying this, without Muslims saying this. They can still use their brain. So I'm interested to know how many Christians can see the flaw in the argument. And secondly, feel free to comment if you know what this is based upon. What is he saying here? Who actually says that Christian actually pay for the sin of the Muslim? So that's my curiosity. Thank you for watching. See you next time.